Alright, this is my pig, and I'm Bryce. So, I dissected a pig, and we're going to start with the oral cavity. This is the hard palate right here, the thing with the ridges. And the soft palate is farther in, the soft one. That. And this is the tongue. The function of the tongue is to help the pig swallow and to taste. These are its little canines, right there. There's also some down here, right there. The canines are really sharp. The epiglottis is this little flap at the back of the throat, and what the epiglottis does is it keeps food and water from going down the trachea tube. Next we'll move into the digestive system. So the esophagus is right under this tube here, it's back there, and it's the food tube, so it's where food and water go down to be swallowed. This big gray thing is the liver, and the liver cleanses the body, metabolizes iron, and it's a graveyard for red blood cells. And the gallbladder is somewhere on the underside of the liver. It produces bile. The stomach. This is the stomach, right here. The rugae, you can't see them, I don't think, but they're inside the stomach, and they're little ridges that help the stomach expand for food. The pancreas is where the stomach meets the intestine, so it's like somewhere in here. We can never really find it on our pig, but it's where the stomach meets the intestine, and it's for, what's the pancreas? The pancreas produces insulin, which monitors blood sugar. These are the small intestines, this thing here, and the small intestines absorb nutrients. The villi, we had a part where we cut it open and you could see, but let's see if I can find it. Right here, if you see that that's cut open, you can see those little things inside, maybe. Those are the villi. They're little spikes inside the small intestine that make surface area greater for nutrient absorption. The large intestines is this right here, and it absorbs water. The cecum is where it's the curve where the small intestine meets the large intestine, which I think might be in here, maybe. And what's found near a cecum in a human that's not in a pig is the appendix. And appendix aren't really needed anyway, but the rectum is basically between here and the anus, and the anus is down there. Yeah, fun. Circulatory system. Okay, this is our heart. Looks like this. It's sat right in the chest cavity in here. And the heart is responsible for pumping oxygenated blood to the rest of the body, and deoxygenated, it takes in deoxygenated from the other organs. So we cut our heart the wrong way. So, yeah, can't use it. But, this is the heart. This is the right atrium, and blood will flow into the right ventricle here. Then this is the left atrium and left ventricle. And the pulmonary arteries is this, right here, and the pulmonary artery is oxygenated blood, so it takes oxygenated blood to the rest of the body from the heart. And the pulmonary veins are the red ones here. And the pulmonary veins take deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And this is the superior vena cava. It takes deoxygenated blood from the top of the body back to the heart. And the inferior down here takes deoxygenated blood from the lower half of the body to the heart. And this is the ascending aorta. It takes oxygenated blood up to the rest of the body, and the descending takes oxygenated down. That's the heart. Respiratory. This is the trachea, this tube right here with the ridges. And what the trachea, it has these rings while the esophagus doesn't, because for breathing, if it didn't have the ridges here, it'd be like breathing into a plastic bag and it would collapse. So the ridges keep it solid so you can breathe. The bronchi are where the trachea splits into two for the lungs, into the chest cavity. You can't see it, but it's like down in there. And the function of the lungs is to breathe in oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. And these pink flabby things are the lungs. We kind of destroyed ours, but the diaphragm is this muscle right here. And the diaphragm sucks air down and then pushes air back out. And urogenital. Okay. Kidneys are found right here where that hole is. You can see it. It's where kidneys are. We cut our first one the wrong way, so we had to take out both of our kidneys. But this is a kidney. And kidneys filter blood and produce urine. And the renal artery is this red one here. And the renal artery takes oxygenated blood from the heart, takes oxygenated blood. And the blue one, which is there, or if you look, where is it? You can't see it, if you see that blue thing right there, that's the renal vein. And the renal vein takes deoxygenated blood from the kidneys to the heart. Yeah. And the cortex is this meaty thing on the outside. That's for filtering blood. The medulla is the like squishy, soft-looking part in the middle, right there. And that's for storing the filtered stuff. And the ureter is this little tube here. It's the tube that takes urine to the bladder. It's the kidneys. And the bladder is right here. And what the bladder does is it holds urine. The urethra is somewhere down in here. I'm not sure if we ever found ours on our pig or not, but what the urethra does is it's the hole that the urine comes out of. Put it simply. Reproductive system. I have a female pig, so I'm only going to tell you the female things. Let's see. This is the urogenital area right down here. It's really tiny. And the ovaries are going to be the little bean at the end of the fallopian tubes. And those hold the eggs. And this little tube thing down here is the fallopian tube that I'm poking. And the fallopian tubes transport eggs. The cervix will be at the base of the uterus. And the cervix, its job is pretty much to let the baby out when it's time and keep the baby in when it's not. The uterus is where the two fallopian tubes meet, and the uterus is where the eggs grow into babies. So yeah. And nervous system, brain. Alright, this is the brain we took out. It went into my pig there. The others cut their brains like that, so the brain was cut in half. We chose to have a whole brain. So this is our falling apart brain. And what do I have to do? The olfactory lobe is for odor and senses, and that'd be in the front near where the nostril cavity would be. And the frontal lobe is this part in here, like on both sides. And the frontal lobe is responsible for emotions, logic, thinking, reactions, stuff like that. The cerebellum is it'd be down here, like on that half. And the cerebellum is hand-eye coordination, so voluntary actions. And then the brainstem is back here, generally, and the brainstem is responsible for involuntary actions like breathing, heart pumping blood, things you don't choose to do but happen. So that's the brain. And we actually dissected our eye. The eye socket's really creepy now, but this is the eye, and that little ball thing is actually like the pupil. So if you take that away, you can see through the lens, and that's kind of cool. And that's the dissection of a pig.